Hello, everyone. I guess you already know that one of the most common illnesses that people get everywhere in the world, almost on a daily basis, actually, is the flu, which is the regular Chinese cold. And there's a website called Kids Health that says that 60 million people in the U.S. get the flu or the cold at least once a year, and it's only in the U.S. So it's just like a huge amount of people keep getting this thing in their bodies, and it's so common that there's a lot of companies that have seen the amount of people that require medicines for this thing, and they just release all this crazy amount of pills, miraculous drugs that are supposed to heal you from all the problems that the flu and the cold give you. But the truth is that it's actually impossible to kill whatever is causing the flu or a cold, and that it's one of the first reasons is actually kind of silly. It's because what causes the flu or the cold is a virus, and a virus is not a living thing. And it's actually not even that. It's just something that is there and kind of does its own thing. So today I'm going to try to convince you if it's possible to actually avoid flu or cold medicines at all, because they're actually not really a good thing for you. Going back to what the virus is again, it's actually just like a little sack of proteins, and on the inside there's a little bit of DNA and RNA. So whenever it goes inside your body, the outer layer of each human cell has the ability to recognize different types of proteins that are just floating around and then required for it to survive. So whenever this little cell is just going through your system and finds the protein that it doesn't need, it will reject it and just keep going. But whenever it finds a protein that seems to be useful or suitable for its survival, it will just open the membrane. It's not really like open the gate. It's just kind of like breaking down the protein and letting everything inside by absorbing it. And it will kind of like digest it inside, to say it in a simple way, and then use whatever it needs from the protein. So whenever the virus that seems to be smart enough to copy certain types of proteins that our cells need, once they find the perfect cell, they'll just go in, and the RNA, which is kind of like the trigger for the DNA, which is the blueprint that has information to replicate the virus, will go into the nucleus of the cell and be like, all right, you're not going to replicate yourself, but you're going to replicate me, which is the virus. Once this happens, it's when you start feeling just bad. Fever kicks in, a lot of mucus, phlegm, you're coughing, you're sneezing, and all that stuff, which is actually a really good thing for you. Those symptoms are not really caused directly by the virus itself, but your body, actually. So once the virus starts spreading all over your body, its reaction is like, ooh, we need to create an environment for this not to happen anymore. So one of the first reactions is to raise the body temperature, which actually helps killing the viruses and other bacteria that might be able to go inside once your body's getting weaker by the virus. So considering that actually the symptoms are good for you, taking the pills that, like I said, won't kill the virus because it's impossible to kill a virus because it's not alive, and they only release or increase the amount of fever and mucus and all that kind of stuff that you're producing. So if you take those things, especially in the beginning of the illness, in the very first stages, you're stopping whatever is actually necessary for you to not get sick. So it's actually even worse. It's not like you're going to die out of the flu if you take like a pain reliever or fever reducer, but you're going to leave more room for the flu and the virus to spreading more, and maybe even get to a point where your body is so weak that bacteria will kick in, and that's when fever, it's even worse. You're probably going to be ill for a little longer than a week. Mucus turns a little green. That's usually one of the better ways to realize when there's a bacteria in your body, not just a virus. So when bacteria kick in, which is in the moment where you're already pretty weak, either it doesn't matter if you took or not the pills, it just kind of happens randomly. It depends on your body and how you're feeling, how much you're eating, how much you're sleeping, and a lot of different factors. That's the only moment when antibiotics are useful. A lot of people think that antibiotics just kills everything that is wrong in your body, but it doesn't really. It kills a lot of things, not only bad things, but actually good things also, because you need a lot of bacteria in your body to survive. Even in your colon, there's I don't remember the name of the bacteria, but it's supposed to be producing vitamin K. And if you take antibiotics, it'll just kill all of it. It doesn't matter. It's just you'll get rid of every single thing in your body. That's why it irritates your stomach. Some people get headaches. Some people don't even get hungry anymore because the entire digestive system is just messed up because all the bacteria are gone that are supposed to help you having digestion. So you want to be really careful with antibiotics. You cannot just pop one in. And also, doctors, when they prescribe antibiotics in a wise way, because they've realized that you've gotten to the point where your body is infected with bacteria now, they usually give a required amount of pills that you have to take necessarily. If you take a little less, your body won't have enough of that substance to actually counter the infection, but it will just kill a little bit of the bacteria that are causing the problem, and a lot of the bacteria that are not causing the problem that are actually beneficial for you. And since not all of them are dead, a couple days later, the amount that you had is just going to be double, triple, and it's back again. And there's no use in actually just taking a little bit of what you've been prescribed. So my advice, considering all the stuff I've said right now, is that you actually don't need to take anything. Your body is the one that is going to do the job for you. And the best way to help it doing it is by sleeping as much as you can, drinking a lot of water. There's a magical root called ginger. I hope you guys know how it looks like. It's kind of like a weird shaped root that a lot of Asians use for soups and stuff like that. If you chew that, your throat is going to stop hurting at all. You're going to stop coughing. And it's actually a little better than just popping in cough drops, because that has a little chemical that can accelerate your heart rate and can alter a little bit of your digestion too. And that's why it says never take more than 8 a day or 4 a day, depends on the intensity of the chemicals being used in the pill. But damn, I mean, you can just buy a root that is like this big for 75 cents, and if you chew it, it tastes a little bad. You can make tea out of it too, but it will release you from that pain, and it's even way better than just spending more money on something that on the long run is going to cause more problems for you. What else? There's something else I want to say. Well, obviously, once you have a really intense fever, you definitely want to stop it. There's a point where fever is no longer really useful, because your body will keep thinking that the more it raises the temperature, the less bacteria are going to be able to survive, which is actually what happens. But at the same time, then a lot of other things are going to start going bad. Then again, your digestive system gets a little messed up, and there's obviously a lot of pain and discomfort, and you definitely want to avoid that. So once you get to 39 degrees Celsius, I'm sorry, I cannot really speak on Fahrenheit because my brain thinks in Celsius. Once you get to 39, which is 2 above the regular temperature, which is 37 in Celsius, you definitely want to be careful with fevers. Once you hit 40 is when you necessarily have to take a pill and get rid of the fever, because it's no longer being good for you. It's actually causing more problems. So at that point, it is actually a good idea to pop in one of those pain relievers and fever reducers. But otherwise, they're not really doing anything at all. They will make you feel better, but most likely a few days later, you either get worse or just going to feel sick for a little longer. So, yeah, like I said, just sleep as much as you can, and don't push yourself to do anything silly like going to school whenever you have a fever, because going to school is kind of silly sometimes too. So just sleep and drink water. That's all you need. Your body will do the rest for you.
Paige, what did you think?
I thought it was good. I thought, like, all his information, he had a lot of information. Obviously, I didn't know a lot of the stuff that he was talking about before. The only thing is, he didn't cite a lot of it, and I know maybe he knew it already, but it was really good information. He should have cited a little bit more, so that way we believe him. And then, but yeah, the preview was good. I knew where he was going right off the bat, and you know, it was persuasive in the way that it made us look at the information better, and it's something we can all relate to. We all get sick, so it's good.